everything's fine because there's merch in the store. Yeah, merch in the store. We're all stuck inside and we miss the outdoors. Wait, don't think about that. Stop thinking about that. I mean, what? I miss human touch. Merch in the store, new merch in the store.
You know what's funny? When the guy who's blitzed out of his mind right now can understand pronouns better than the guy who does actual rocket science. Welcome back to the channel, new and returning, young and old, red, black, purple, green, blue, I don't care who you are, because as long as you respect pronouns and trans people, you got an A in my book, baby. But for every A, there must always be a D, a failing grade. And Elon Musk is certainly racing there head first. Friendly reminder that if you're new here, no matter who you are, why not subscribe? It's quick, it's easy, just takes a second, and you can always undo it later. But I'd appreciate if you did, it really helps out the channel a lot, so thank you. For those of you who don't know, Elon Musk is the owner of SpaceX, Tesla, and other successful companies. Hailed often as a genius and a pioneer in the tech field, he seems a little off-key and out of touch when it comes to pronouns and trans people, which is a crying shame, but certainly not a big enough shame that I can let it slide, so once again, someone else falls in the scope of the hotbox. Let's talk about it. Elon Musk sparks Twitter meltdown as SpaceX boss accused of sharing transphobic meme. Yeah, I don't see why it's in scare quotes because the meme is intrinsically transphobic, but way to go media, I guess. The original tweet is him sharing a photo of a red coat with a hat that says "I love to oppress" and blood on his face, saying, "When you put he, him in your bio." And as the article states, other social media users were quick to condemn the alleged transphobic connotations. Someone with a brain states, "I was sure people put he, him, she, her, etc. in bios to normalize putting pronouns in there, so people who are gender fluid, non-binary, etc., like me, hi, can feel more comfortable and state their pronouns without people thinking it's weird or out of nowhere." Exactly. Another person added, "I don't get the joke. If and when I put my preferred pronouns in my email, sig, or bio, it would be to normalize the usage." Someone else says, "It's a way of showing support to the movement, just like 99% of the times I've seen it in emails or bios. It's no big deal." And that's right, claiming your own pronouns and making that clear to people so that they may respect it is not a big deal. It's called basic human decency. It's not complicated, and this one's easy, but it's not rocket science, Elon. To everyone else calling it some authoritarian practice, no, it's just demanding basic dignity, something that is often denied to trans individuals. Polite requests are perfectly acceptable, you know? Oh, but this ain't the first time. Back in July, he tweeted about pronouns sucking, and his own damn wife, Grimes, tweets at him, "I love you, but please turn off your phone or give me a dial. I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart." Elon, you've got a woman by your side trying to be respectful and loving and educate you, and you don't want to listen? This is repeat behavior. This ain't pretty. Grimes herself has repeatedly spoken out about trans issues. She made the stride of trying not to reveal the gender of her baby when she was pregnant in case that's not how they feel. She wants to protect their privacy and says, quote, "I don't think they can consent to being famous or being in the public. I don't want to gender them in case that's not how they feel in their life." And say what you will, but at the bottom of her heart, she's trying to be a respectful individual. More respectful to an unborn life at the time than Elon is to the millions of other trans people who are alive right now. Ain't that just some irony? When someone published an article calling Elon out about this, he tweeted, "I absolutely support trans, but all these pronouns are an aesthetic nightmare." That's right, Elon Musk thinks your pronouns are a nightmare, an inconvenience to him, when a lot of trans people, I'm sure, live their lives feeling like a nightmare, feeling like a burden to other people because of stigmas placed upon them by society. Oh, and he loved to flash this little part by Tesla, saying, "Very proud to have scored 100 out of 100 for the 4th year in a row in LGBTQ equality. Thanks to everyone at Tesla for making LGBTQ inclusion an important part of our culture." When someone decides to clap back, our very own Charlotte Clymer, saying, "Hi, former HRC press secretary here. Most of that score is based on 1. policies protecting against discrimination, such as respecting pronouns, and 2. Maintaining an inclusive culture, such as respecting pronouns. Points can also be deducted for things like this tweet. So, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see that score burn. She went on to say, not sure what made you wake up today and think, you know what, I'll on other people's pronouns, but that's kind of the opposite of LGBTQ inclusivity. Thank goodness you apparently have HR personnel in place who know what they're doing. You should ask them to brief you. That might not be a bad idea, Elon, since you're such a busy guy, too busy to show some respect, but I digress. And by the way, for anyone who chooses to complain about singular they, first of all, language changes. But they has been around for years upon years. Let's look back. As early as the late 1300s, the Canterbury Tales uses a singular they. Modern English develops somewhere around the mid-16th century. Hamlet comes around on the cusp of the 1600s, and the King James Bible. They both use singular they. Also, according to a chart by Jim Swindle, singular they might actually be older than singular you. In Middle English they had thou or thee instead, such as thou art lovely, I gave it to thee, open thy mouth. What's mine is thine, open thine eyes. I just don't understand myself why there's still a debate about the lives and existence of trans people. It shouldn't be up for debate in the first place, but attacking them certainly seems like the latest and hottest celebrity trend, right? One celebs will jump on right in the moment if they want to change the news cycle. But hey, that's just a theory. Let's not also forget that US billionaires gained $1 trillion since the whole world situation started. Looking at this chart, the light green bar represents earnings from around early March. Dark green represents as of November 24th. Jeff Bezos saw a 61.4% wealth increase. Elon Musk, 413%. Bill Gates, 21.8%. Mark Zuckerberg, 85.9%. Warren Buffett, 30.8%. Total US billionaire wealth increased 34.2%. But just look at Elon's bar above all the rest. Nearly 4 times his growth? Are you kidding me? $126.2 billion. Fascinating and disgusting all at the same time. Also, are we going to talk about Elon Musk banking his gains by moving his primary residence from California to Texas, a state which does not collect income tax? Oh, no, we're not? Okay, then I'll talk about something else. Because Elon's all numbers, right? He's all math, he's all facts and logic. Well, I happen to have a healthy portion of that right here. According to stats by the Trevor Project, transgender youth reported significantly increased rates of depression and victimization compared to their cisgender peers, notably in the past year. Looking at the chart, the yellow bar is cisgender. The magenta-ish bar is transgender people. 35% of transgender individuals, about a third, 1 in 3, attempted on their own life in the past year. And 44% said that they were seriously considering it. Over 53% said that they felt sad or hopeless for 2 weeks or more in the past year. But let's look at victimization, shall we? 31% of trans individuals experienced some kind of in the past 12 months. 24% reported being threatened or injured with a at school in the past 12 months, and around 27% felt unsafe going to school in the past 30 days. Trans people are intrinsically at more of a risk of life-threatening tendencies than heterosexual people, and also experience mental illness at significantly higher rates than the general population. Some of these risk factors include homelessness, isolation from conventional society, the stigma, excessive abuse, lack of support from parents or other family members. And that's not to mention that a lot of these factors grow at exponentially disproportionate rates when we talk about trans people of color. The bottom line is, trans people are valid, trans people exist, and respecting pronouns costs literally nothing. It's not about an aesthetic, Elon. It's not about creating some kind of laborious task that hurts you in the end. It's about a message of acceptance. It's about showing trans people that they can live, they can thrive, and they can have the support that they need. Because if we deny them that, we're denying them a basic human right and we are setting a poor precedent for people down the line. We are encouraging discrimination against them by not respecting them. And the fact that the concept of respect is lacking from one of the biggest public figures in the world, someone that plenty of people look up to, is frightening. It's horrifying. It sets a drastically horrible example for everyone who considers Elon's word Bible, whoever that may be. And for those of you who don't think that the discrimination is real and really happening, let me refer you to a little clip from one of my previous videos on this topic.
I need to share this. Something just happened that was, I'm kind of in shock. So I went for a walk with a friend, a social distance walk with a friend. We wore our masks. We went to Griffith Park. I've actually never been to Griffith Park here in Los Angeles. I had my hoodie on and I had my mask on, so I'm like walking in Griffith Park, kind of like this. This is the vibe. We passed this guy, and the guy very aggressively asked for the time. And like when people, you know, talk to me on the street, I usually kind of ignore them. That's just the New Yorker in me, I think. He very aggressively like asked for the time as he passes us, and my friend who I'm with tells him the time, looks at his watch and tells him the time, and then the guy who had asked for the time says to my friend, guy or girl, my friend says, off. I'm walking. I'm hearing all this is happening like in a split second, and then all of a sudden the guy is attacking my friend. I look back and I was like, what is happening? The guy is like hitting my friend, and then my friend is like going towards him. Pull out my phone and I call 911 to dial 911, and all of a sudden it's over and the guy is gone. And it just was like that. It just happened really quickly. And I just was like, what I'm like, what happened? Like, but he was like, yeah, I've been out with trans people before in public. And he was like, that's never happened. And I was like, yeah, it's happened to me a lot. No, I mean, it doesn't always come to blows. It doesn't always get physical. But yeah, I mean, I've had a whole history. If any of you have heard my story, I have a long history of street harassment in New York. Wow, it's not safe in the world. And I don't like to think about that a lot, but it is the truth. It's the truth, and it's not safe if you're a trans person.
I said it before there, but I'll say it again here. The world tries desperately to make this kind of discrimination invisible, but it's there and it unfortunately thrives. And the best we can do to fight it is speak up. Amplify trans voices. Amplify ally voices. Because the more positive light that we can shine on the sphere, and the more attention that we can draw to the gross and casual wrongdoings that are being perpetuated by this society, the better. If you're a trans individual and you need some other support, you need another voice to tell you that you're loved, you're valid, and that you matter other than my own, here's some resources. I encourage you to call or get in contact with any of the organizations here. And for everyone else, if you enjoyed what you heard here, why not leave a like and subscribe? It really does help out the channel a lot, so thank you. For everyone, I love you. Sincerely, I do. And before you say it back, look in the mirror and say it to yourself. I will see you in the next episode of whatever I make. And whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a good rest of your day and an even better tomorrow. This has been the Hotbox. And until next time, bye.
I should really start contributing more to the human race.